Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Guess who Joy Behar is blaming for the California wildfires? Wildfires have swept through Southern California and liberals have one person they can blame: Donald Trump. Chelsea Handler started the trend. Just evacuated my house. It's like Donald Trump is setting the world on fire. Literally and figuratively. Stay safe everyone. Dark times, tweeted Handler. The View discussed these wildfires and made it all about global warming. Of course. We want to start by saying and telling everyone impacted by the insane California wildfires to do whatever you can to be safe. This is the biggest wildfire to hit the region in 56 years, started Goldberg. It must have something to do with the planet heating up, said Behar, pointing out that it was so dry and hot in California. And so, when it gets very dry and dusty like that, anything, if you flick a light or there's a spark, if it finds something, it will burn it, said Behar. Earlier this year, Behar joked that she wanted to name hurricanes after climate deniers. And that is contributing to the intensity of storms like Irma, why this is the worst storm we've seen, etc. It has to do with climate change. People who deny that, they should start all of these hurricanes after Hurricane Limbaugh, Hurricane Pruitt, Hurricane Palin, Hurricane Trump, stated Behar. That makes Al Franken a sacrificial lamb. Here, watch MSNBC mourn Franken's resignation. Sexual predator Al Franken resigned from Congress. Democrats are attempting to claim that they have taken the high ground because they resign, when there is evidence, and Republicans embrace Roy Moore, who denies the allegations. At the same time, the media puts Al Franken on a pedestal in a way they would never do for a Republican accused of the same thing. Because there's hypocrisy on the Democratic side, it creates a kind of leverage, right? Here are the set of norms that we espouse and the values that we say that we hold. If people aren't living up to them, as they haven't lived up to them, you can call them out for it. The Republican Party, by contrast, doesn't really even purport to hold women in equal esteem, claimed New York Times columnist Michelle Goldberg. MSNBC's Steffi Rule made it even worse. But isn't that disgusting then? That makes Al Franken a sacrificial lamb here, said Rule. If what this does is give Democrats political leverage to say, "We've cleaned house," shouldn't you have? Margaret Carlson wrote a piece in the Daily Beast today where she says Democrats may have moved too quickly, they may have fallen into a Roger Stone trap, said Rule. Roger Stone gave a heads up on Twitter about Al Franken's accuser 12 hours before it happened. The Ethics Committee never got to do their job. So, Democrats in this political maneuver may have just gotten outmaneuvered themselves, said Rule. Shut your bakery down or make the cake. CNN guests spit on religious freedom. Liberals are doing whatever they can to destroy religious freedom. There is a Supreme Court case going on that suggests that a Christian baker must custom design cakes for gay weddings. This isn't just about selling a cake, it is about being forced to create art for something you don't believe in. CNN guest Richard Sherman said you must bake the cake or shut down. But here, what you're doing is you're compelling this baker to use his expertise to create something, him personally to create something, not just sell the cake. He said, "I'll sell you any cake you want to buy in my store. Here, take any cake you want, don't make me create a cake for something I oppose in my religion." Now that is ridiculous. I think he should have made the cake, argued Sherman. But, we're looking at it legally and we're analyzing it legally, and that's his position. Don't compel me to do something that violates my religious belief. He's open to the public, and Avery is right, that's not what the law says, Fred. He's open to the public, said Sherman. I don't think he has the right to do this. Ultimately, I think either shut your bakery down or make the cake, I think that's how it's going to end up. But it's going to go back. I don't think the Supreme Court is going to answer this one, said Sherman. We absolutely will utterly destroy them. Watch UN's Nikki Haley make brutal threat against North Korea. UN's Nikki Haley made headlines when she suggested that we are willing to utterly destroy North Korea if they push us enough. We have never sought war with North Korea and still today we do not seek it. If war does come, it will be because of continued acts of aggression like we witnessed, and if war comes, make no mistake, the North Korean regime will be utterly destroyed, said Haley. Fox's Chris Wallace spoke to her, where she doubled down on her bold comments. Just the other day you said if there's war, that North Korea, the regime there will be utterly destroyed. Why such tough talk? Asked Wallace. It's the truth. I mean the reality is if North Korea even attempts to try and threaten the United States or any one of our allies, they will be utterly destroyed. Diplomacy is great in some respects. But you have to also be honest, and this was something that North Korea needed to hear and the international community needed to hear, said Haley. North Korea has pushed the envelope to an extreme level. The United States isn't going to put up with it, and the international community has also rallied around saying North Korea has to denuclearize. But that's just the honest facts. If North Korea attempts to threaten or do anything to destabilize us or our allies, we absolutely will utterly destroy them, said Haley. Trey Gowdy eviscerates liberal media for spreading a vicious lie about Don Jr.'s opposition research. During an interview with Fox and Friends, Trey Gowdy eviscerated the liberal media for attacking Don Jr. Don Jr. accepted a meeting with a Russian lawyer who promised opposition research on Hillary Clinton during the election. Is this the big collusion revelation that Democrats have been wishing for? Nope. Trey Gowdy explains why. Gowdy was asked if Don Jr. did anything illegal. No, I don't even think he did anything improper, responded Gowdy. Differing minds can quibble about whether you should accept an offer to provide OPPO research. Keep in mind the DNC was paying $10 million to do OPPO research on Trump, explained Gowdy. Gowdy went on to discuss who is actually corrupt. As far as who is actually corrupt, Gowdy was complimentary of most rank and file FBI agents, but highly critical of the agency's leadership. The higher-ups have had a really bad 2 years, said Gowdy. Whose reputations are under assault, not the line agents. Congress should not have to fight with the FBI to access information that we're entitled to. We should not have to threaten contempt of Congress. I want the information we are entitled to be able to do our jobs, said Gowdy. It's not just Strzok, that's the latest. I'm afraid Strzok is not going to be the last. I think there will be other revelations of bias and prejudice and improper conduct from the Department of Justice, so my first question to him is what are you going to do to repair not Congress's trust but the American people's trust and that blindfolded woman holding a set of scales, explained Gowdy. Rush Limbaugh exposes the truth about Roy Moore, and liberals are furious. The mainstream media already wants you to forget. But the biggest piece of evidence against Roy Moore has been proven to be a lie. Good thing we have Rush Limbaugh to set the media straight. Bombshell, Roy Moore accuser Beverly Nelson admits she forged yearbook. You remember that the yearbook? This is the Gloria Allred special, and now Beverly Nelson, who was one of Roy Moore's accusers from 40 years ago, has admitted she forged it, explained Limbaugh. So she has no credibility. None at all. Gloria Allred still has not released the yearbook so that it can be forensically tested. I wondered why she hasn't. Now we know why. Because the perp has admitted she forged it, said Limbaugh. Beverly Young Nelson has finally admitted that she forged a portion of the infamous high school yearbook that she and attorney Gloria Allred used as proof of her accusations against U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore. And in yet another blow to the credibility of ABC News, the disgraced, left-wing network downplayed the bombshell by presenting this admission of forgery as adding notes to the inscription, explained Limbaugh. In other words, ABC's not reporting forgery. ABC says, Nelson admits she did make notes to the inscription. But the message was all Roy Moore, said Limbaugh. Do you think Roy Moore is going to win?